Hi, I'm Jay. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about a mysterious story related to a bottle of whiskey called VAT 69. When you hear the name VAT 69, you should think of the VAT 69 whiskey bottle that has been popular among people all over the world for more than a century. This whiskey was created by William Sanderson in 1982. From the day it became famous, people started drinking it with great enthusiasm. This whiskey bottle has achieved an unimaginable success compared to other whiskeys. Its appearance, which is different from other whiskey bottles, adds something special to this bottle. Unlike now, in the past, VAT 69 whiskey was sold at an affordable price. It became very popular in the early 20th century. It became a very popular drink among soldiers during World War II. That's why we can see how even James Bond of Britain enjoys a glass of VAT 69 whiskey in some of his movies. Anyway, there is a strange story behind this beautiful bottle. Some people say that this story is false, but some old people in Scotland say that this story is true. You have heard that animal proteins are used to ferment alcohol, but usually, we use very little animal proteins in whiskey. But there is a story among some people that the VAT 69 bottle is made with horse meat. Do you know why it happened? This thing happens because of an accidental mistake. It is a rather disgusting story that we are not comfortable hearing. Anyway, there are several stories about this whiskey. Before we go into the dark story about this whiskey, let's talk about a normal story about this whiskey. VAT 69 is a wonderful invention of a Scottish producer named William Sanderson. One day, he made 100 whiskey recipes and put them in 100 calderas. Then, when this whiskey was old enough, he called several whiskey experts to taste them. He gave them a chance to choose the best one from here. So they chose the best whiskey from the 100 recipes. Their choice was that the whiskey in the 69th vat out of the 100 vats was the best whiskey. That's why Sanderson decided to produce whiskey to that recipe under the name VAT 69. This is a common story around this bottle. Let's now talk about that strange story. One day, Sanderson creates a recipe to make the best whiskey. Several whiskey experts got together. So, he created a recipe from the ingredients that could be found in Scotland at that time. Sanderson produces 100 barrels of whiskey according to that recipe. After that, the whiskey made according to the same recipe in these 100 barrels is tested after a certain period of time and released to the market. So, while this was gradually becoming popular, a man came to Sanderson one day with a complaint. That is, one of the 3 bottles he bought from him was different in taste. And one was much better than the other. People started asking him why he was cheating us. Later, many customers complained to Sanderson that there was a different taste among his whiskeys. Sanderson made all the barrels with the same recipe, so he could not imagine this. Sanderson was a little wary of these complaints. So time passed. One day, a worker in charge of the 69th vat was cleaning the vat when he saw something very strange. He couldn't believe it. He showed it to Sanderson. Then he realized that the whiskey that people said had changed its taste was from the 69th vat. One of his workers had fallen into the 69th vat. He was cleaning it when he fell into it while climbing up the ladder. He was drowned in the whiskey. Even the other workers didn't know this. But he managed to find out who the man was. He had been missing for days. So the manager of the whiskey factory didn't look into it. The reason was that he had to hire a lot of people to work because no one had come to work, so the manager didn't think much of it. Sanderson did not do anything to prevent people from hearing about this. Since there was a great demand for 69 vat whiskey from people, Sanderson thought of putting a bottle of whiskey on the market called 69 vat. He wondered how to continue to maintain the taste of this 69 vat. However, Sanderson could not put human flesh in it, so he looked for a substitute for human flesh. That's when he found out that horse meat is very similar to human flesh. Sanderson thought of using horse meat to ferment this whiskey. At that time, it was not like today. At that time, horse meat was very common for Sanderson. However, towards the end of the 27th year, an incident occurred that shocked the loyal customers who enjoyed this bottle. This caused a big black spot on this bottle of whiskey. In the middle of the 20th century, Especially after World War II, the prices of many goods, including meat, rose. People were very helpless without finding an affordable source of protein. In this meat-scarce environment, they began to eat horse meat as a substitute for beef. It was at this time that Sanderson's secret, which had been a secret for a while, began to come out. Since people started eating horse meat at this time, there was a great demand for horse meat. People therefore searched for horse meat. Then they found out that Sanderson was buying a large amount of horse meat. That was the amount of meat that the average person would eat for about a year. At first, people could not imagine anything. Later, people began to suspect this. Sanderson continued to make whiskey, but he did not know that the secret that he and his team had kept secret for so long was about to be revealed. So people started looking into this. After a while, they were able to hear what really happened from someone who worked at the factory. These events added a big black spot to Sanderson's whiskey. There was nothing to fix it. He was unaware that this story had already leaked out of his factory. Sanderson waited for time. However, people are a special kind of creature with great curiosity. So even non-whiskey drinkers were interested in trying this. Also, since there was no whiskey that could challenge this at that time, people forgot the old stories and gathered around this again. Some people started saying that this was a business trick used by Sanderson. However, there is nothing wrong with that either. The reason is that Sanderson's business has improved. I can't come to a conclusion about which of these stories is the truth. Sanderson himself still knows exactly which is the truth. However, nowadays, this VAT 69 whiskey is not made from animal meat. Nowadays, instead, a chemical substance is used. So, that's the end of the video for today. Wait a minute, I forgot to mention one thing. Remember that alcohol is harmful to the body. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Comment on the shortcomings of the video. As a new content creator, your opinions are very valuable to me. Have a good day everyone. Bye.